I want to thank everyone for joining us today for our virtual meeting. We've been doing these for a couple of months now. I don't have to explain why. I think everybody knows what's going on. But we found that it's been great because we've been able to bring in more employers, more community partners, and more job seekers. And we're using these meetings every other month with the employer panels just to connect people to employers in the community. We want to let more people know that you're out there. We want our community partners and job seekers to learn about you in a way that's a little bit different than they're used to, which right now I think is a lot of searching online since we don't even have job fairs anymore. Everything has gone virtual. A little bit about me. I am the president of NETPA. I own a company called Core Matters. And at Core Matters, what we do is we help employers hire better people faster using our proven process called the Core Fit hiring system. A little bit about NETPA. Our mission is to provide a vast resource of education, training, and networking to both employers and community agencies. We really want to connect our employer partners with our community partners so that we can help people that are underserved, people that are struggling to find gainful employment do just that. Our vision is to educate and collaborate through topics of interest. And I think there are a lot of people out there right now that want to know more about employers, what makes them different, and why they might be a good fit. So today on our panel, this is a list of our panelists from some pretty large employers here in the Valley. And what we're going to do is we're just going to have a conversation today. We're going to learn a little bit more about our employer partners and what makes them different, what kind of opportunities they have, and who might be a good fit for them. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in, and what I'd like to do is I'll call on you, and then what I'd like you to do is just introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do with your company. Tell us a little bit about the company, and maybe one or two positions that you want people to be thinking about while you're answering questions today that you really want to fill, maybe some tough to fill positions or some positions that have a lot of opportunity available. So Naomi, I'm going to start with you.
Hello, I'm Naomi Bennett. I am with Beacon Group. We work primarily with adults with disabilities. We employ them in a various number of jobs. Right now, we are hiring for job coaches. Job coaches are individuals who support individuals with disabilities with gaining the skills that they need for independent employment. We also work with Amazon. And we are filling 20 positions a month with Amazon at both their AZA 5 or sortation and at UAZ 1, the prime location.
Thank you. Ryan?
Yes, my name is Ryan Manso. I am here representing Mark Anthony Brewing. I am part of their talent acquisition team, so I tend to focus on a lot of their supply chain roles. So we are actually kind of brand new to the area down there. We're building in the final stages of our brand new state-of-the-art facility for manufacturing. And so we're the company behind brands like Mike's Hard Lemonade, White Claw Hard Seltzer is the big one the last couple of years here, but have a lot of open positions between brewery operators, packaging operators, engineering, maintenance roles that we're looking to fill in the area. So thanks for inviting me.
Fantastic. Stacy.
Hi, sorry, couldn't find the mic button.
No worries.
So, hi, I'm Stacy. I am part of the recruiting team at Bright Health. I'm located in Minneapolis, where our headquarters are, but we are now building out a brand new contact center in Tempe, Arizona. So, our go live for that is going to be October 1st. And so we're getting a lot of sales agents, sales support, customer service type of roles as we build out this contact center. So super excited, new to the company, and just thank you for letting me be a part of this as well.
Thank you for being here. Leah, you're up.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Leah Hill, and I am part of the talent acquisition team at Honor Health. My role specializes in workforce development. So what that means is I enjoy working with community partners, employers, job seekers, and building pipelines, partnerships, and pathways to employment at Honor Health. For those of you who may be aware, Honor Health has currently 5 locations, medical centers throughout the Phoenix and Scottsdale area, 70 plus medical group locations, and we are opening our 6th medical center next month. So that's why I'm very excited to be with you all today to profile some of our hot jobs, which include respiratory therapy, COVID testers and screeners, experienced nurses, as well as telemetry technicians with EKG experience. So if you or anyone you know fits any of those bills, certainly reach out to me.
Fantastic. Tony, you're up.
And my name is Tony Bowie. I'm with a company called Kim Research, and I've been here going on 3 years. Kim Research has one facility for over 66 years here in the Valley. I do HR, I do environmental health and safety as well. We're looking for a few positions. One, we're looking for a ship and receiving position it's our backup driver, so you got to pass a drug screening for that position. We're looking for an apprentice. We just started an apprentice program that's certified by the Department of Labor. So that program is a 3-year program. You'll start off and you'll learn from the very bottom, but there's progressive pay, and you'll learn how to be an anodized operator. And what we do is we actually plate parts for the aerospace defense industry. So companies like Boeing, SpaceX, Raytheon, Motorola, all these companies send us parts. And we plate them, chrome, cadmium, zinc, all kinds of processes. So that's what we do. I'm excited to be here and to talk about anything else that anybody has to ask about what we do.
Awesome. All right. So the way we're going to do this is I'm going to pose a question, and then we'll just go around and I'll have each of you answer that question. One of the things that I believe about employer-employee relationships is there really needs to be a lot of value on what the organization is like to work for. I know that you have positions to fill, but it doesn't mean that all of our job seekers are going to be right for your company. So I really want to learn more about you, your company, your values, what it's like to work there. So the first question I'm going to ask is more of a statement, which is just tell us about what it's like to work at your company. And that might be things like the leadership team, and maybe there's some perks that are a little unconventional that you want to share. Just talk about what it's like to work there. So that our job seekers and our community partners can start thinking about people that might be a good fit. So Tony, I'm going to start with you.
So Kim Research has been around for 66 years. We're owned by one person. We're debt-free. We do mainly aerospace defense, the government work. So with us being owned by one person, we're very family-oriented. We work Monday through Friday. We work 8-hour shifts. We try not to put in overtime. And so you can walk directly into my office, the president's office. All of our employees are able to do that. There's an open door policy here by which any employee can ask questions, bring concerns, anything they need. So it's really colloquial here. We work together and we try not to work each other to death because we understand there's got to be a work-life balance.
I would imagine, though, that you guys still work very hard in that time that you work there every week. Is that right?
Yeah, you got 8 hours, so we try to bang it out in the 8 hours that we have. So yeah, we try to fit it all in that 8 hours.
That's great. Thank you for that. Leah?
So Honor Health is the combined merger of John C. Lincoln Health Network and Scottsdale Healthcare. We're about 6 years into our merger, and we have 12,500 employees within all of the locations I mentioned before. I've been with the company for 17 and a half years, so I can truly testify that it is a great place to work. A lot of our benefits start on day one, and it's a very team-oriented atmosphere. Our values surround the I CARE principles, which stand for innovation, collaboration, accountability, respect, and empathy. So if you have those skills, we're looking for you.
Fantastic. What's changed in the last 6 months at Honor Health? Are you guys working harder? Are there new opportunities there?
So
World's
Yes,
changed a lot.
exactly. Good question. My team was already virtual, and my role specifically was in the community. So I was used to doing virtual and community work. My role has been more now at home than in the community to keep my community as well as my family safe. However, we do have a lot of new positions as a result of COVID, such as the tester and screener. A lot of our corporate jobs, about 99% of them, have gone full-time remote at this time. Unfortunately, our patient care roles at this time are not remote. We need those individuals with soft hands and warm hearts at the bedside. But other than that, I mean, we're just opening our doors to care for those who need us at this time. And we have over 400 jobs posted at this time. So we did go down to about 200 jobs, never had a hiring freeze during COVID, but actually have increased the number of jobs that we are filling. And I'm working more with community members to help those affected by the unfortunate unemployment rate.
Thank you.
Sure.
Stacy.
Yeah, I would say, in terms of the coming in and stepping into a role with us, you're going to have a very dynamic and energetic type of feel. Leadership there is really phenomenal and strong. They have a very family-oriented mindset, and the growth that we're experiencing is really going to give you a lot of opportunities for development and growth. And as we really build out our contact center, it opens up the door for many broad skill sets that an individual might have. So if you're looking just to get into a sales type of position, this is a great way to get those fundamental skills. We have a lot of leadership type or lead type of positions if you do have a little bit more experience. So the leadership, again, is really focused on the development and the culture there. They really want it to be kind of a premier place to work, and I love that that's their priority that they have there.
What's one thing you could share with us about the culture that makes Bright Health unique?
I would say that it is a place where you can really come in and just make a direct impact. The work that you are doing, you can see the direct impact. We have, being founded in 2016, we're still very much in kind of a build out phase, and we are very open to innovation and new ways of doing things. So, if you see something, if you want to approach something different, we have kind of a say yes mentality to that.
That's great. Ryan, tell us about Mark Anthony Brewing.
Yeah, and I'm going to kind of echo Stacy and Tony as well. Definitely have that family-oriented kind of mentality there. We are still a family-owned company, so we do try to kind of implement the values from the top down and focus on really that strong culture there. So we tend to focus on about 5 core values. Sense of urgency, 1, because we're a very fast-paced organization. Authenticity, 2, just because we do need to stay real sometimes. Simplicity is our 3rd value. Humility is a big one from us because there's really no room for egos when it's a fast-paced organization. And then the big one there is trust. So just really kind of taking all 5 of those into account. And I know the leadership team there in our Glendale facility has a family-focused mindset. So kind of really looking at our employees moving forward as brothers type movement there.
And you guys are going to be new to the Valley, correct?
Correct. So we are in the final stages here of building a facility. So just under about 1 million square footage, which is pretty large on our end here. We're going to have about 300 full-time workers down there. And it's going to be on the northwest side of Glendale. So should be up and running, fully operational about end of September, early November. So a couple months in this time frame now.
Okay. But you're already taking applications now. Is that correct?
Of course, we are hiring. We have not stopped hiring. We're conducting orientation classes, training. Obviously, safety and quality are kind of our number 1 and 2 principles there. So a lot of that training prior to being fully operational there.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. All right, Naomi, tell us about Beacon Group.
So I'm going to kind of mimic what everyone else is saying, but we are very family oriented as well. One of the things that we say around here is family first, work second, and hopefully work becomes your second family. The team here is very much here to support one another. They work hard. We have a lot of jobs that are very difficult. We do a lot of landscaping, custodial, the list goes on. But so they work really hard, and with that we have to have that camaraderie, and each individual has, you know, one another's back, and they work together as a great team. One of the things I think that sets Beacon Group apart is the passion that you'll find behind the individuals who work here. We are all here for a singular purpose, and that is to employ individuals with disabilities and to support them with their growth.
That's fantastic. So I'm going to ask everyone this same question. Naomi, I'll start with you. How would someone know that they're a good fit for your company? So think of, from the job seeker's perspective, how do they decide that they're going to be good fit for your company and want to apply? What do they need to be thinking about in terms of maybe their work ethic, their drive, some of their other behavioral tendencies, so they could say, yeah, I really want to be a part of that team?
So I think that comes back to which position we're looking for, because we do have a number of positions that are open at any given moment. Currently it's custodian, job coach, and Amazon. So with that, I would say for job coach, the biggest thing is that passion. We are going to work hard. There are going to be days that are tough. But if there's that passion to truly support someone else with their growth, then you're a perfect fit for it. Reliability, flexibility, of course. And then for custodian, we are really looking for an individual who does have a disability. We primarily hire custodians with disabilities, as we are an Ability One contractor. So that would be something that needs to happen there. And then again, having that drive to always strive to do better. We have a clear career path that any individual in any position coming in can move up with. And then for Amazon, it would really be, do you fit the Amazon culture? And that's very upbeat, fast paced, and just a positive attitude. Also, for the Amazon positions, they do have to have a disability as well.
All right, thank you. Ryan?
Yeah, and I know I just kind of gave you the 5 core values that we go off of representing Mark Anthony Brewing there. So I think, you know, those 5 attributes are very key. Likewise to Naomi as well, you know, we have several positions that are more tailored to some relevant experience, but at the same time, entry to mid-level positions as well. So I think what's more important to us is, you know, work ethic, accountability, you know, attendance, just being able to be counted on, and fitting in from a culture standpoint. I think experience is important, right? But culture fit and accountability are equally, if not more important than experience as well.
Okay, thank you. Stacy?
Yeah, I would say that individuals who do really well in our type of environment have a growth mindset. They enjoy engaging, they enjoy being motivated, having that direct impact. It is, you know, the undercurrent of that is, you know, the foundation of a skill set or a sales skill set. So, you know, it's going to really be an open introduction to a lot of wide exposure. And if you're willing to learn and just have a kind of positive say yes mentality, you'll do very well. I think, as others have echoed, the skill set, the sales skill set isn't as important as the character fit for the role. Again, our leadership will train and be very supportive of that, but just an openness and willingness to learn as well.
All right. And do you guys have structured training program that will help people learn those skills?
Yeah, absolutely. Our sales trainer is phenomenal. He really cares and has a lot of passion around development. So a lot of one-on-one coaching, lots of learning from others. So you'll get a really great experience and introductory to those skill sets.
Fantastic. Tony?
You know, so we have 4 key values: integrity, respect, accountability, and excellence. And I think in particular, accountability for us is key. We deal with a lot of aerospace parts that go on planes, helicopters, those types of things. And if we mishandle it, if we don't do something correct to the customer spec, it could have a devastating consequence down the line. So everything that we do on our processes has to have, in a sense of accountability. Everything is tracked. We keep it for decades to make sure that there's accountability back to our level if something ever does go wrong. So when it comes to, I think one of those, it's accountability. You got to be here on time, be here when you're asked to be on your shift, probably like everywhere else, obviously. But I believe we have an extra sense of accountability because of what we deal with. Probably, like Stacy might say with Bright Health or Honor Health, with Leah, I believe, you're dealing with things that if you don't do it right, you're going to have some consequences. So accountability is key here.
Got it. So what do you guys do as a leadership team to hold people accountable?
You're asking me?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. We have obviously clear policies in place that outline a person's job duties, specifications per each job. Travelers are obviously aligned with each part. We do a lot of training. We're highly regulated, so there's a lot of training that we do when you first get here and then ongoing. And then the last thing is we give consistent and staggered performance reviews to give the employees feedback on how they're doing and where they're excelling and where they need additional help.
That's great. Thank you. Leah, tell us about Honor Health.
Sure. So I mentioned our values, the I care values, but also I'm going to resonate and echo with what a lot of my fellow panelists said. Training and development is very big at Honor Health. We do support a culture of learning and development, but also for the healthcare and non-healthcare professionals, we encourage constant growth through training and education. And we have phenomenal benefits that surround those training opportunities, such as our tuition assistance program and our professional development program that allow individuals to pursue education either through formal colleges and universities or through professional development groups and obtaining certificates, for example, or attending conferences. And each employee is eligible for those annual benefits. Another opportunity that we have at Honor Health is the ability to make a difference through our patient care, even if we're not direct patient caregivers. So for example, I work in the corporate office, I'm a business professional, but I still believe that I impact patient care daily. And so that's something that we look for in our associates, is being able to say that even though I may not be at the bedside on a regular basis, my actions still reverberate into regular patient care. And so that, I think, really sets us apart in terms of being able to be a community-based provider that provides care. So if you're willing, or if you're looking to make a difference in your community and you're looking to make a difference within the Honor Health community, then Honor Health is a good place for you.
That's great. Thank you. So some of you have already mentioned this, but I want to dig into it a little bit more. There are perks associated with any job or any employer that aren't necessarily obvious all the time. Some of you have mentioned training. Some of you have mentioned, support in the community. There's some other things. Talk to us a little bit about some of the things that get people excited to apply with you. This is an opportunity for you to really just sell coming to work for your company. And just so you know, the next question after this is, how are people going to apply with you? So, because I really want to drive some job seekers to you. It's no accident that this is our panel. You hear everybody saying, I echo them, or very similar. It's no accident. These are some of the best employers in the Valley, and that's why they're here. So I really want you guys to take a chance to just sell yourself a little bit. What are some of the perks people can get by coming to work with you? Training, leadership, growth, those kinds of things. And then when you're done with that, let people know how they can apply with your company. And in fact, add it to the chat so we can make sure we get it up on our website so that people will have those links directly. So I'm going to start with you this time, Stacy.
Perfect. No, I would say that, in terms of like the growth opportunity, we offer a very robust health benefits package that's afforded to you right away. Very limited waiting period, I would say, for your health and benefits to start. Very competitive pay. We certainly have our comp situated so that we are a premier employer for the Valley. So those are some of the things that we are really paying attention to, because we know that, if you're valued and you are, a family member of us, then you'll want to stay. And so, longevity in roles is certainly something that we want people to have that mindset for. So come in and stay and grow with us, because it's really exciting and you'll have a lot of fun. All
right. And how do people apply?
Yeah, so go to our website. I'll provide the link. It's brighthealthcareers.com. Check frequently, because we are growing in many, many ways. And so the contact center in Phoenix and Tempe specifically is going to be very dynamic within the next couple months.
Fantastic. Thank you. Naomi.
So I think for Beacon Group, I have been here for a little over 3 years, almost, 3.5 now. And when I started, we had one job site here in Phoenix that we took individuals to for what's called group supported employment, or training on the job, right? We have grown from there to now we have over 60 locations that we go to almost daily. Some are once a month, but the growth and being a part of something where they say directly impacting, but you're directly impacting the lives of these individuals, their families, and those, it's a domino effect. Everything you do touches someone, right? And it's very clear here, from seeing someone get their first paycheck to them finally learning how to communicate when they're frustrated, or do that piece of the job that they couldn't get for the past month or 2 months, or maybe it was just a week. But there's nothing like what we do, and Beacon does it in a way that it's different. It's different than any other place that I've worked. And yeah, so there's that. Also, our HR likes to call our benefits package a cafeteria. So we have a lot of different options in there, a lot of different things to choose from. And Beacon we are very fortunate. Beacon is able to support with some of that, paying for the benefits that we have. And the career paths are clear, whether you come in as a custodian or a client. I have an individual who came in as a client on a work adjustment training and is now a job coach. He moved up to custodian, and now he's a job coach. So it's a clear career path. You can move up with Beacon. I myself started as a part-time job coach, working 14 hours a week, and now I'm the rehabilitation project manager for Phoenix. So
that's great. And how do people apply with Beacon?
I did put it in the chat, but you're going to go to beacongroup.org and click on job openings. In there you will find a number of different jobs. However, if you are looking for the Amazon positions, you will have to click on fulfillment jobs.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Tony.
So like all of my panelists, we have a very robust benefits program. You're eligible after 60 days. We do have what we call a safe harbor 401k plan. So you're 100% vested from day one. So we match up to 4% on your 401k. One of the things that we also do is we offer some certifications that we pay for. We offer a certification for our operators through the National Association of Service Finishers. So you go through that year program and you pass a test. You can actually put your name up on the national certification site, which allows you obviously increased visibility throughout our industry, but it also increases your pay. We have an apprenticeship program that is really for people that want to get in this industry. And it's very unique because you don't go to school for plating. You kind of get into it and you learn it. So we've started a certified program through the Department of Labor that will give you a journeyman card at the end of the 3 years with progressive pay throughout. By the end, you should know how to you should be an expert in the plating industry, which is extremely valuable. And you know what? We offer a bonus program every 6 months based off company performance. We've been here for 66 plus years, privately held the entire time. The majority of our customers are aerospace, defense, government work. So as long as there is a government, we're going to be in business. We haven't laid off anyone. We haven't furloughed anyone, and we're still looking to hire. We're growing. So this is a great place to work, a great place to learn a trade and grow and be a part of a family. We have a lot of people that have been here for a long time, 10, 15, 20 plus years. And we're looking for more individuals that are going to come in behind them, learn, and fill those positions when those people eventually retire.
That's great. How do people apply?
You can go to our website at chemresearchco.com. That's CHEM researchco.com. I'll put it in the comments as well. You can just go to careers, and then we have a list of our job openings there. But go back frequently, like was said by another panelist, because we're hiring and we're updating quite often.
Great. Leah, talk about Honor Health a little bit.
Sure, I'm going to highlight my 4 favorite benefits. Health and wellness programs start on day 1 of employment. Because we are a nonprofit, our 401k is called a 403b, and our 403b retirement plan starts on day 1, where you are fully vested with 4% company match. I had to wait a year when I first joined Honor Health, so I think that's progress, and I'm so excited to promote that. Then also our tuition assistance program, $5,250 per calendar year for individuals who work a minimum of 16 hours a week. In a full-time or part-time employment status. Outside education or professional development, that's the one I was talking about regarding conferences and professional development certificates. Again, after 6 months of employment, based upon your job title, you have, in addition to the $5,250 tuition assistance, between $800 to $3,500 per year to pursue those professional development opportunities. And then last but not least, we have pet insurance for those who have furry or feathered or wet friends who need some extra care as well. So to apply, and also I did want to talk about real quick, I mentioned how we're nonprofit and community-based. One of the things that I enjoy working at Honor Health is that because we do give back to our community, we have a partnership with the military. We have our Military Partnership Center, which is one of the first civilian hospitals with that. We have a food bank as well as at our John C. Lincoln Medical Center. And at this time especially, I just feel that we're really giving back to our community, and that's what makes me even more proud and loyal to Honor Health. But in regards to how to apply, honorhealthjobs.com is where you can find more information. There is information about some of our sample career paths. So if you're looking to see how you can move from one job to another and how progression is available through promotional opportunities, check those out. But our job board is updated twice a day, and positions stay there for a minimum of 3 days. So I encourage job seekers that if they see something today to apply, only because it is 3 calendar days. Something that may be posted today may be down on Monday. So get your resume ready, apply as soon as you can, and then more information about our recruitment process can be found also on honorhealthjobs.com. We have a horizontal flow chart that kind of talks about what the process looks like from start to finish, which does take about 4 to 6 weeks. So if you are looking to start a job tomorrow, unfortunately, we may not be the best place for you, but if you are looking for a career with a long-term stable employer, then check us out.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Ryan, talk about Mark Anthony Brewing.
Of course. No, I think the couple points I always like to hit on is, we're kind of building this plane right now as it's flying with the success of White Claw and obviously a lot of the different brands that we have in our portfolio. So a lot of the perks, we have explosive growth. I jumped on board in the company in November. We had about 260 employees full-time then. Today, we're just over about 325. And by the end of the year, we'll be closer to that 700 mark. So a lot of growth. Obviously, that's going to set up for different opportunities for advancement as well. But the key things is innovation, creative thinking, and kind of always coming out with those new next ideas. So entrepreneurial minded company. A couple of the different perks just being in a manufacturing facility in Glendale is we are a climate controlled facility. So never will be over about 82 degrees in that plant down there. We are going to also have covered parking. So that'll go along with as well. So don't have to worry about getting back in your car after work and instantly rolling the windows down. But other than that, we also offer obviously full-time employment for all of our positions at the facility, medical, dental, vision plans, 401k package as well, which I believe we just got increased to a 5% match. And then there's also PTO time, health and wellness as well, to kind of go along with the overall perks there.
Great. And how do people apply?
Yes, and to apply, we have our website for Mark Anthony Brewing is mabrewing.com. There's a career section on there, and then if anyone does have a LinkedIn page as well, I know Verily has been helping us out with that as well, but we have a page on there, Mark Anthony Brewing. We host several actually virtual career fairs throughout every month, so those are also good opportunities to learn more about our facility and all the open roles as well.
That's great. Thank you. All right. So what I'd like you to do now is just talk a little bit about the day in the life of some of these positions you're looking to fill. I know a lot of you mentioned, like Tony, you mentioned you have the apprenticeship program. I think every one of you mentioned some sort of training program, pouring into people, helping them grow personally, professionally. So just pick one of the positions that you really want to get filled and just talk about a day in the life for that position. Let us know what it's going to be like from the day we start till the day that, you know, our career is really taking off. So Ryan, I'd like to start with you.
Yeah, so I tend to focus a lot for our new brewery on brewing operators. And so that's obviously a main priority for us right now is the brewing operator kind of kickstarts the entire process for how to make Mike's Hard Lemonade, White Claw Hard Seltzer, Cayman Jack is our third brand, and then our fourth brand is a brand called MXD. And so the brewing operator is really someone that will kickstart the physical production of the liquid itself. So obviously being in a manufacturing production facility, the day-to-day is going to vary, can be pretty repetitive at times, but across the different stations on our floor, between our mixing, blending, batch making, we're going to get all our brewing operators well-rounded. So kind of make them an expertise on one station, and then cross-train them on the rest. So they really have that background to transition to the next level. But from a day-to-day standpoint for brewing operators, it's definitely a hybrid type role. Physical labor associated, picking up a 60, 70-pound bag of ingredients, tossing it into the big tanks, things like that, but also some control screen or computer work as well, where pressing buttons, turning valves, things like that to, again, make sure from a quality standpoint that we have, we're efficient from that standards. And that's our big priority is we tend to focus on having the premium ingredients in our drinks. So quality is kind of that number one attribute there.
Leah.
So I think we all know what nurses do, and hopefully after COVID or during COVID, we all know what respiratory therapists do. They're excited because they're getting their time in the limelight right now, unfortunately so. But I'm going to focus on COVID testers and screeners only because that's a new role and unfortunately had to come about as a result of the pandemic, but it will be a very vital role in keeping our community at Honor Health safe, but also the external community. Those individuals are going to be the ones who are going to be standing outside of our employment locations, our clinics, our hospitals, and screening employees, patients, physicians, as well as patient support team members before they enter the facilities. I think some of us have heard that during this time, unfortunately, that patients were not allowed to have support members with them, whether it be they were delivering a baby, they were in there for a scheduled or unscheduled operation, and so a surgery procedure. So these COVID testers and screeners will give back the ability for guests to be entering the facilities, but safely. So these are the individuals who are going to be taking temperatures, assessing signs or symptoms of COVID or any other illness, especially as flu season is upon us, and then documenting any signs, symptoms that they may have, then proposing further treatment if needed. And then if they don't have signs or symptoms of COVID or the flu, allowing them entrance into the hospitals or the places of employment, our clinics, medical group locations, etc. So this is an entry-level job. It's really good for someone who may have EMT training or paramedic training, someone who may have gone to nursing school or is in nursing school now. But we also have, of course, we have actually over 1,200 different job titles at Honor Health, representing those 12,500 employees, from clinical to non-clinical, entry level, executive level, and everything in between.
One thing I'd like you to address, because this was going through my head, I don't know about anybody else, but screening people for COVID. And if people have COVID, what are you guys doing to protect the screeners? Is there training? Are there things that they have to go through to keep them from being exposed?
That's a great question. We take our employee safety very seriously at Honor Health. So yes, they will be wearing proper attire, which includes masks, it includes face shields, gloves, scrubs, gowns, anything to be kind of that extra barrier of protection between them and anyone who may be walking around with COVID unbeknownst to them.
Sure. I figured you guys had it covered. I just wanted to hear you say it. So thank you, Leah.
Sure.
Tony, pick one of those positions and tell us about a day in the life.
You know, I think we all as panelists know that succession planning is huge in trying to figure out how we're going to have a good, solid backup for the people that are filling critical roles for us, which is the reason why I went through the process of developing an apprenticeship program. So this apprenticeship program is a 3-year program. Like I said before, it's certified through the Department of Labor. It has progressive pay. So some of the things that this particular person would be doing on a daily basis is there's going to be obviously classroom training on learning about the chemicals that you're going to be using, safety requirements that are in our particular industry. So there's going to be a lot of that. So I think a person that probably on a consistent daily basis is going to be doing at least 1 or 2 online trainings or classroom trainings. There'll be some on the shop floor work. So you'll be working alongside of what we call a journeyman, someone an operator who specifically is doing the job that you're learning. So you'll be following them, watching them read the job card, learning what each section of the job card entails, what the customer requirements are. You'll be taking those parts that come from our customer. You'll be learning how to rack them correctly on racks. We have racks that are about 3 feet long. You hang the parts on the rack. So there are certain ways to orient certain parts to make sure there's no pockets. There's no pocketing in the tank when they're submerged. The next thing that they'll be learning is obviously learning how to use the amperage to plate the part. For those of you who don't know, plating uses electrical current to start activating the metal to stick to activating the metal parts in the bath to plate to the metal aluminum part. Depends on how long you leave it in there, how thick it's supposed to be. So you'll be doing that on a day-to-day basis. And then finally, you'll learn how to mask. Some parts aren't supposed to be plated in the holes or on certain sides. So we've got to cover the certain side with epoxy paint or tape it or plug holes with rubber plugs. All those things are parts of the process that an operator may not do themselves, but needs to understand how it's done before the part finally gets to them so they can run through the process. So every day you're going to be coming in we have 2 shifts, 6 a.m. to 2:30 and 2:30 to 11, Monday through Friday. You'll be coming in, probably this will be a first shift, 6 a.m. You clock in, do some computer training or classroom training for myself or on the computer. Then you'll be on the shop floor for the rest of the day, working alongside the operator, learning on the job how to be an operator, a plater.
That's great. Sounds like you guys have that all dialed in for that apprenticeship program.
It took a lot of work, that's for sure.
Great. Stacy.
Yeah, so day in the life, We are in an office setting. Like I said, it's a really state-of-the-art facility. So lots of, nice perks that come with that. I'd love to highlight our broker services support representative role. This position is really foundational and critical to our whole sales distribution. We have individuals that are in each of our markets that develop relationships with the brokers who are able to sell then our Bright Health products. This position is really going to be that concierge service support role. So if brokers have questions about our products, if they have questions about being able to sell our products, how do we get recruited, any sort of questions about commissions that they might receive, this is really that first point of contact for them. So this position is going to be a lot of phone work where you are fielding calls. It takes someone who really has a passion for providing that service, communication, follow-up, and really just kind of being on point to track resolution and provide that resolution to them. So it gives you a great exposure to our products. It gives you a great exposure to like the sales operations, and it will really, it's fast paced. So there's going to be, not 1 hour is the same. You're going to have a lot of questions that are coming at you. So just dynamic, it's change. You're not going to be doing the same thing every day. It's going to be a lot of engagement. And so people who are extroverted or really value relationships do well with this type of work. And it's you're going to be on the phone. So it's exciting, and it's fast paced for sure.
All right. Thank you. Naomi.
So when I'm going to focus on the job coach role, a job coach, when they first come in, we do require a lot of certifications, which Beacon Group will put you through. There's Article 9, prevention and support, CPR and first aid. So that would be first on the list, is getting those certifications. And then we also work with individuals who come from the behavioral health side of things. So there are certifications that go through there as well. So the first week is pretty much training. It's a lot of training. I am not gonna lie, but it's all valuable and interesting, and you learn a lot. You're going to go into overload, take notes. And then the second week you're working side by side with my lead job coach, and they do the training, or with my level 3 who also does training. So it just depends on the position. Like I said, we have a number of different positions, mailroom, landscaping, custodial, fleet wash, all for job coaching positions. So it just depends on which one, but you will get 1 to 2 weeks of training. It depends on your ability to pick up the position and mesh well with the team, because it's very important to build those relationships with the individuals we support. After the training period, you're going to come in pretty much every day, starts about an hour to an hour and a half earlier than the individuals coming in. You're going to come in and get your paperwork in order. There's notes, there's documentation, timekeeping. We have to make sure our guys get paid. They get paid just like we do. So we do that. And then depending on the location, you'll either pick up the individuals or they will arrive to our office location and we will take them to site. So Fleet Wash, for example. We have a number of different sites. We're at a different location every day of the week, and sometimes at a different location every Wednesday. So it just depends. Like I said, we have a number of different sites that we go to. And we take them to those sites. We wash the sheriff's vehicles mostly for Maricopa County. And we move on from there, come back, make sure that any added tasks that probably I've given for the day are completed. And then you make sure the guys get home safely. So whether that's through Dial-A-Ride or whatever transportation service they're using, they get home safely. And then you're pretty much free to go for the day. These are full-time positions. And if you need support, you always have your fellow teammates to reach out to, your fellow coaches, your lead, as well as myself. Someone mentioned earlier an open door policy. We don't necessarily have an open door policy, but I definitely do. My door is always open for everyone to come through. But you know, the day in the life of a job coach kind of varies. It depends on how the day goes. Maybe you have an individual who is having a rough day, or maybe you have an individual who's super excited for the day, and you have to kind of calm them down from being super excited, because when we go to a site, our sites are actual contracts. We are contracted with Sandra Day O'Connor Courthouse, Bankruptcy Court, the Census Building. We also have Maricopa County, the City of Mesa. So it's important that when we go on these locations, our individuals are aware of what appropriate work behavior looks like. And again, that varies based on the location. A custodial appropriate work behavior is going to be different than a landscaper's. But yeah, that's basically the day in the life of a job coach. There's a lot to learn. And the first 2 weeks, definitely, I will say, are overwhelming. But if you make it through the first 2 weeks, it's worth it every step of the way.
That's great. That's great. Now I want to put this out to the attendees. I'm going to ask the panelists one more question. And as soon as we're done, if any of the attendees have any questions, type it into the chat or into the Q&A, because I want to give you a chance to engage with the panelists and ask them any questions you have. We already have one came in for Honor Health, and we'll get to that in a minute. But for anybody that's attending right now, please send us your questions, because I'm going to open that up for the panelists after this one. So I talked to a lot of job seekers, and I talked to a lot of employers, and all the employers are saying it's tough to find people, and all the job seekers are saying it's tough to find a job. So somewhere wires are getting crossed. What I'd like to challenge each of you is to give us one tip for job seekers to get their application through the process. I know a lot of job seekers that apply, they get discouraged because they don't hear back, or they don't hear back quickly. So you can even talk a little bit about your process after they apply, what expectations they should have from when they should hear from you, and those kinds of things. But if each of you could give one tip to our community partners and job seekers, so that when they apply, there's a good chance they'll hear back from you in a positive way, I would really appreciate that. So Naomi, we're going to start with you.
So as I said, we do have a number of different positions available. I would say for custodian and for Amazon, or even for the floor tech positions, it's important to let us know and disclose in your application that you do have a disability. It will support us with getting back to you a lot faster, and knowing perhaps maybe that if you're an individual, for instance, that is hearing impaired, then we know that when we call, maybe we need to email instead. It helps a lot with that. And especially for Amazon, as that is a requirement to go through Beacon Group to get employed at Amazon. Those are the first ones that we are going to call back, are those that have disclosed. We're going to call everybody back, but we're definitely going to call the ones back that have disclosed first. As for the job coaching position, I would say on there to be honest, and if you do have experience working with individuals with disabilities or in the behavioral health field, definitely put it on there, and tailor your resume. If you are looking for the landscaping job coaching position, let me know that you have landscaping experience as well. Even if it is minimal, it's important to put that on there. Same goes for the mailroom job coaching position or custodial. Just put that on there in your resume that you have that experience, and you're going to get a call back a lot faster than you would otherwise. I will say that our process does take a little bit of time for job coaches. We have a pretty extensive background check that has to be ran before we can bring you on board. So just be patient. We are always working on it, and it may not seem like it, but we are, and we will keep in contact. For custodians, we do have a background check, and given that, like I said, we are at Sandra Day O'Connor, Bankruptcy Court, and others, there's the GSA background check. So be patient with that as well. That one can take some time. That's pretty extensive. And then for Amazon, we get our labor orders once a month. And it's important to also be patient with that. We will first have you come in for what's called a simulation. That simulation is like a working interview. It's actually pretty cool because you get to have an idea of what the job is going to be like before you even apply directly to Amazon. So just being aware of that process, and that you will have support all along the way. When it comes to all of these positions, you will have support, especially with the Amazon position. I have a job coach that works full-time just with that program.
So be patient is what I heard.
Yes, we do have a lot of background checks. So
All right. All right. Stacy.
Yeah, I would say, just in terms of applying to our roles, I think really just making sure that you're reading through the posting, that it fits with something that you want to do, and that you have a background, whether you've been in customer service before. I think that's a great fundamental skill set to step into a lot of our roles. So make sure you really highlight that concisely in your resume. We are looking for individuals who have bilingual English and Spanish experience as well. So if you certainly have that type of experience, make sure that that's highlighted as well. Our interview application process is as streamlined as it can be. So we try to make the online application process quite quick, so it doesn't take up too much of your time. From a recruiter accountability standpoint, we try to review all of those applications within a short window of time, 2 to 3 days. So, it's our obligation to you to present that response if we're moving forward or not. And then, in our interview process as well, we want to make sure that you are getting good exposure to our culture, getting exposure to our leadership. So we do have a couple interview stages through our process. We try to target about a 2-week window for that total process, and then background check too. So I think emphasizing the patience through it, to kind of work through all of that is important. But I think in summary, just making sure that you're highlighting your experiences, you're energetic and passionate, during interaction with recruiters or managers, that really stands out for everyone.
All right. Ryan?
Yes. So to go off of those 2 points, we have 300 opening positions between obviously entry, mid-level, lead, supervisor positions. I would say for the lead and supervisory experiences, the best way to kind of get noticed is to take a look at the job description, the responsibilities, the duties, try to tailor your professional experience as much as possible on your resume to some of those bullet points there. That'll obviously make sure that you stand out, that'll catch the recruiter like myself's attention. But I think from a lot of the more entry to mid-level type roles, what makes yourself stand out? So just being distinct and making yourself stand out to the recruiter as well, I think is important. Just because, again, we do tend to see a lot of applicants and things like that. So making yourself stick out of the talent pool is very important as well. But the only other thing that I think is important on our end to catch our attention is we are hosting several events as well around the community too. So, just stopping by, introducing yourself. If I see a name once or twice, that's going to make more likely mean that I'll be following up with that in the next steps. But again, just trying to familiarize yourself with the role, the responsibility, the duties itself, and just making yourself stand out is what's going to take you to the next level as well.
Okay, great. Leah.
So I'd like to echo what Stacy had to say about reading the job posting fully. Make sure that you are applying for the position that A, truly interests you, B, that you can work the shift and the location where it is identified. Please don't think that if you're submitting an application for a human resources professional, for example, that is just day shift. There may be night shift opportunities, or it may be an on-call position. So make sure that you're applying for the position that works for you. As a certified career coach, I do tell individuals you don't have to meet, at least at Honor Health, you don't have to meet word for word 100% of the job requirements, education, experience, etc. But I do encourage you to meet at least 90% of the requirements, because I want you to be challenged on day one and maybe for at least a few more months after that. But also, again, because we are a culture of growth and development, we want to be able to support you in going to the next level. So make sure that you can at least do 90% of the functions. The hiring process, as I mentioned, can take about 4 to 6 weeks from start to finish, from the time you submit that application to the time that you begin your onboarding and new employee orientation. The first step is after you submit the application, your application is reviewed by the recruiter and then potentially forwarded on to the hiring manager. If the hiring manager is interested in talking with you further, the recruiter does schedule a screening interview, which can be done via phone or video at this time, recorded video. It doesn't even have to be during business hours, so you can do it at 3 o'clock in the morning on Sunday night if you would like. And then also after you complete the screening interview with the recruiter through one of those two means, we are inviting individuals then to participate in interviews with the hiring managers. Sometimes the hiring manager interviews can be one and done, or they can be maybe 2 or 3 steps, depending on the role, depending on the hiring manager. Once you complete the hiring manager interview or interviews, if you're still a viable candidate, which we hope you are, we then extend to you a formal job offer. And if the job offer is accepted, we then perform a criminal and sex offender background check that goes back at least 7 years. We are friendly to those with criminal backgrounds to a certain extent, in the fact that if something does come up, we invite you to write a letter explaining the situation and any reformation that may have occurred as a result of the situation. But we also want to set you up for success. So for example, if you got in trouble for committing money laundering, for example, we're probably not going to place you with our finance team. So do keep that in mind. Again, we want you to be successful. And then after your background check hopefully comes back clean, we then invite you to participate in an new employee health screening, which does include a minor physical and a drug screen. We do screen for nicotine. So if you are using nicotine products, keep that in mind. But if you are trying to cessate the use of nicotine products, let us know that, because we will take that into consideration. Again, we believe in reformation and giving individuals a chance. So if you don't disclose it and it comes up, then chances are it may not necessarily go favorable, but again, we give you an opportunity to have that private, confidential discussion with the medical review officer. And then after you're cleared from your health screening, you do start our new employee orientation program. And there is also department orientation that is involved, which again varies based upon the role and the leader.
That's great. Thank you for all the details on that.
Sure.
Tony, what's a tip to get noticed when they apply with Chem Research, and what's that process?
To get noticed, here's I got 2 tips. One is, if your background is not specific to the position that you're applying for, like if you're HR and you're applying for HR, those are direct. But if you're applying something that's a little bit different, then make sure you tailor your resume to fit that position, okay, the best you can. It's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is basically this is becoming more difficult because of COVID, but if you can find out where the person is, that's either the recruiter or the hiring manager, show up. Drop your resume off in person. I tell you what, if you show up at my door and you hand me your resume, you may have also applied online, I'm going to remember you. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to hire you, but I'll certainly remember you. And it's a benefit to be memorable. So if at all possible, show up, say hi, drop your resume off in person and say, I'm just following up. And I'll tell you a little quick story. The president of our company, his wife is a nurse. She got her degree and she was having a hard time finding a job. He told her, go and show up with your resume, walk around, go door to door. The second place she walked into, they hired her. It works. It really does. Make it personal. Show your face, if at all possible, and make yourself stand out.
I think that's great. It's like the old-fashioned way of doing it. It's coming back.
Yeah.
Make yourself stand out. So I've got one question and then an offer for the panelists. And then as soon as we're done with this, I'm going to give each of you 60 seconds to say anything that you want to add that I didn't ask about. So if there's anything you're like, I wish he would ask me, I'll give you 60 seconds to talk about that, or just any closing remarks that you have. So the first question, though, is for Leah. And the question is regarding these testers and screeners for COVID. When COVID is over, which we're all hoping is going to be really soon, what happens to those positions and those people that are in those positions? Do they get transferred? Do they get let go? What's the plan there?
Sure. So good question. Currently, those positions are on call. So we do ask that individuals be able to work. The positions are posted for either day shift or night shift. So you would be working unscheduled or irregular, like not set in stone hours for day shift or for night shift. And then you may be working at different Honor Health locations. Once COVID is over, then we do invite those individuals to participate in career pathing opportunities at Honor Health and consider one of the other positions that is available. So they would be eligible for transfers or other promotional opportunities at Honor Health, either on call, part-time, full-time, etc. Those positions, depending on how COVID goes, again, we're all hoping that it'll be over soon. Even though they're part-time now, they may turn into full-time or part-time in the weeks ahead, assuming that COVID continues. But if it does not, then they certainly are still members of the Honor Health family and invited to look at other positions with us.
Thank you for that. And then one of our attendees is Sherry with the Department of Economic Security. And she put out here that if anybody's interested in creating an apprenticeship program like what Tony has, to contact her. So if anybody is interested in that, I'm going to add that to the panelist chat. So as we wrap up, any concluding remarks, anything you want to add about your organization, jobs you have available, maybe even something else for job seekers so that they can fast track their application. I loved all the tips. But Tony, I'm going to start with you.
So first of all, I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to Sherry Zerwinski here. She was extremely helpful with me and patient in understanding going through the apprenticeship setup process. So thank you, Sherry, for helping me through the process. I know we'll eventually get the right person in the apprenticeship program that will be a great fit for Kimry Search. If there's one thing that I really want to say is, this is not saying anything bad about large companies. This is not a behemoth. You're working for a small organization that's decades in the same facility. You have access to the leadership to walk into any one of our offices and learn. This is really learning a trade that is so valuable to our government, to our country. The things that we do, we cannot send overseas. They don't send them overseas. They have to be done in the United States. So if you're looking to change your career, if you're looking to set yourself up for a long-term, successful, sustainable career, learning a trade, this is where you want to do it. At Kimry Search, been here over 66 years, and we're looking for people like you to be a part of our family.
Thanks, Tony. Naomi?
I kind of want to mirror what Tony's saying, is that we're not a large organization. We do have our headquarters down in Tucson, which is quite a bit larger, but still not a huge company, very family oriented. And for me, this has become family. We spend a lot of time with the individuals we work with. So for me, this has become everything. I hope to retire from here as long as Beacon will keep me, I will stay. But yeah, I mean, just if you have that passion, if you have that drive, if you really want to see the career in behavioral health or working with individuals with disabilities grow and expand for you, Beacon's where you need to be, especially as a job coach. If you have a disability and this is still a career path that you want, Beacon is where you want to be. We look at everyone's successes and their potential, and we help them to develop and grow from where they're at and meet where they want to be. So not quite 60 seconds, but.
Thank you for that. Ryan?
Yes, and I would just kind of leave you guys with, Mark Anthony Brewing side. If you guys are looking for a very, family-oriented company, fast-paced, that's the fastest growing beer company in the U.S. right now. It's an opportunity for you, whether you have experience, whether you are looking for that first opportunity as well. And if you enjoy kind of that innovative, fun family, turning the industry culture, Mark Anthony Brewing with our new facility down there in Glendale can kind of open up opportunities for a lot of different ways you want to go in your career.
Thank you. Stacy?
Yeah, thank you. A quick follow-up to the application process. I just wanted to throw in that just make sure it's complete as possible. Make sure you're answering all the questions. I think that's always another helpful tip. And in terms of just who we are and why you should come, I think, if you're mission driven and excited at the thought of changing healthcare, we all know some of the struggles that industry is facing. And so if you want to come in, really make a difference, this is a great place to start and look. We also have diversity and inclusion is certainly a high priority for us as an organization in terms of how we work, how we service our members. And so if you have, bilingual experience, that is a plus. We want to be in front of our members, serving them the best way that we can. So those are just some great skill sets and priorities that we're hoping to bring on as we look to how we shape healthcare. So,
thank you, Stacy. Leah?
Yes, if you're looking to make a difference in our community, for our community, then Honor Health is definitely the place to be. In terms of career paths and supporting career development and progression, I myself in my 17 and a half years have had 10 different jobs there. And so I am true testimony to growth and development and doing new things, especially if you're looking for something different. We also champion diversity, inclusion, and belonging, and feel it's the way of the world, and it's how we care for our patients, and it should be how we care for each other as well. So it's something that we're truly passionate about. And if you're looking to help us open a new hospital, again, Sonoran Crossing will be located in North Phoenix. We currently have a 24/7 emergency center there now near Carefree Highway and I-17. Please check out honorhealthjobs.com, and do keep in mind that we anticipate a lot of our current employees to fill some of the positions at that new hospital. So as they exodus into our new facility, there will be constant growth and opportunity for career support at our other locations. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for that. And I just want to thank everyone here for bragging a little bit about your company and sharing with our community partners and job seekers what it's like to not only just apply there, but to potentially create a career for yourselves there. So thank you so much for joining us today. Really enjoyed it. We're going to get this recorded. I mean, this has been recorded. We're going to get the recording up on our website. We're going to promote it through social media, hopefully get you guys some more exposure. And then of course, all those links we'll make sure are included with the video so people can go right to your open jobs and learn more about it. So thank you again. Really enjoyed the conversation today. Now what I'd like to do is turn the rest of the meeting over to Vera Lee. She has got some announcements for everybody. So I think this is the right slide. Is that correct, Vera Lee?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. I'd just like to start off by thanking you, Ryan, and of course, all our wonderful presenters. Absolutely great information. So interesting to hear all about your companies and job opportunities. So thank you so much. So my name is Beverly Keenan. I'm a business services representative with Arizona at Work, Maricopa County, and I'm honored to be vice president of NETPA. So I'm going to share some resources with you for job seekers and employers. Arizona at Work is our statewide network of offices. We serve job seekers of all backgrounds, abilities, skill levels, and ages. We administer programs, access to funds to help with training and furthering your education. And of course, we also partner with employers to meet your workforce needs. Arizona Job Connection is a statewide resource where job seekers can search thousands and thousands of jobs and employers can post their jobs. It's a sort of a matchmaking service. If you've not done so, I'd encourage you to create a job seeker account and to look into the employer accounts as well. If you have any questions, I'm just going to put my email here, which you can please feel free to reach out to me on. So I want to mention as well that Arizona at Work, Maricopa County, has created some interview, tutorial, and resume help. This is online, and if you are interested in going into this and seeing the videos and getting the help, please send me an email. My email address is in the chat. So we are fortunate to collaborate with a lot of local organizations. I just want to mention some of them. Best Companies AZ is a wonderful resource. They have links for job seekers and employers. So please feel free to check out their website. Career Connectors, I'm sure some of you have heard of them. They have great resources for job seekers, including resume and LinkedIn help. They host virtual meetings every week, which feature keynote speakers and hiring companies. So if you've not done so, I'd encourage you to check them out and sign up for their newsletters. Pipeline AZ is another great resource for job seekers and employers. Job seekers can search for jobs and employers can post their jobs on Pipeline AZ. So next slide, please, Ryan. I just want to highlight AZRC for job seekers. As you can see, Arizona Career Readiness Credential. This is a wonderful qualification that job seekers can put on your resume. As you can see, it covers all these skills. The skills really are hard skills and soft skills. We learned that Arizona's employers really have difficulty finding people with these skills. So the tool prepares the job seeker for success by demonstrating your command of these 7 skills areas. As you can see, they are graded. If you take the exam, which is proctored, you can get bronze, silver, gold, or platinum. So if any job seeker is interested in this, please send me an email and I'll help you connect up. Again, it's a great resource. It's a great thing to have on your resume. So next slide, please. We offer job blasts. They're a great newsletter. I know some of you already get these. If you don't get them, I'd encourage you to please sign up. You can get job leads and valuable information direct to your inbox every week. It's a great resource of information, not only about jobs, but there's updates about the Arizona unemployment, etc., which of course, as everybody knows, has we just had a $300 increase added to that. So again, we have all sorts of really good information on our job blast, so I'd encourage you to sign up. So next slide, please. I encourage everybody to join NETPA. You have access to lots of information. We have lots of exciting events coming up, and you will be the first to know. So our yearly fees are very reasonable, I feel, $25 for an individual, and $75 for a company or organization of up to 5 employees. You can look at our website and join there. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to email me. So thank you. Next slide, please. So this is the our next event, which is going to be on Friday, the 18th of September. At the same time, it will be a virtual event as well. We're very excited to be welcoming Inside Out Learning, who will be giving a presentation about protocols and best practices for virtual interviews, which is certainly something that is in great demand at the moment, and we feel is very timely. I will be sending more information out, of course, about this, but this is really a save the date for your calendars for Friday, the 18th of September at 10 o'clock.
And we'll be updating the website with registration information for this.
Oh, well, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's going to be done today. So finally, a great big thank you to everybody, to our panelists, to our participants. What an incredible event. I've been absolutely so delighted to hear everybody. And again, thank you very much for all your time. And everybody have a wonderful and safe weekend. Thank you.